Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.
Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's Football Show, sponsored by Arnold Clark. I'm Peter Martin, delighted to have your company on the show. And with us this evening, Alan Ruff, as ever, this time assisted by a really good midfielder striker. I'm sure he's played in other positions, but we're delighted that Tam McManus is with us here in the studio. And we are going to talk European football and, of course, transfers in and out. Yeah, lots to discuss on the programme tonight with Ruffy and Tam, and no shortage of speculation on players coming and going. Of course, confirmation expected very soon on the length of the deal for Kieran Tierney and the amount which we expect. 5 years, 25 million, Ruffy.
Yeah, I wish it would hurry up and be done. I'd love to see it up on the screen. It is. The medical has passed. You know, we know he's got that wee injury that's been going on for 2 or 3 months now, and it's an awful lot of money to be paying out if that injury isn't going to clear up. So I'll be happy when it goes up on the board that everything's fine.
Yep, and of course, this is what Kieran Tierney is all about.
Kieran Tierney, he may be the best left-back in Scotland and Celtic through and through, but he is leaving his boyhood club to join Arsenal south of the border. £25 million will make him the most expensive Scot and the most expensive export from the SPFL ever, giving the Parkhead club even more financial muscle over the rest of the league than they already have, but he will be a huge miss on the pitch. He signed when he was 7, as the chant goes, and spent 14 years at the club, amassing 170 appearances and 8 goals. Won 4 titles and a hat-trick of domestic cups, also known as the treble-treble. The left-back was named as Scotland's Young Player of the Year 3 times in a row and made 3 appearances in the official team of the season. But how will Celtic fans remember Kieran Tierney? The die-hard fan who achieved his dream of winning everything with the club before moving on to bigger things, or the player who left for a bigger wage when his team were getting ever closer to the fabled 10 in a row?
Well, Tam McManus, I've got to get your thoughts on the view of Kieran Tierney. There's some fans who'll say thank you for 15 years, the way you literally became a fan on the pitch. There was a great link between sets of supporters and Kieran Tierney, but there are some on social media who've basically been calling him a rat and someone who doesn't deserve to be lauded for what he's achieved at Celtic.
It's total nonsense. I mean, you look at Kieran Tierney, the Celtic fans are obviously disappointed they've lost one of their own. He came through the ranks, a Celtic supporter, came through and done so well with the club, part of the Invincibles, the treble. But they've got to pat the guy in the back and say, listen, all the best, good luck down south. To turn down, 80 grand a week, 5-year contract with £15-20 million and a sign of a pen, you can't do that. The days of, I think, Danny McGrain and Paul McStay are long gone. One club guys, the money now at stake is far too vast. You go down to England, you've got to go and take the opportunity. I think Arsenal are a great club, London, and I think the majority of Celtic fans will wish him all the best. You're always going to get the odd one or two who are over the top, but I think they'll go with the best wishes of most Celtic fans.
How do you think he'll fare, Ruffy?
Yeah, it's a big ask. We always like to see our Scottish players going down there, like Arthur Robertson, and hitting it off. It's a massive club. The demands will be, I would say, the same as Celtic, but playing against better players. Much better players than what he's been playing up here with. There's no doubt about that, and that's when we all hope that he can raise to another level. We've already seen what he can do at a national level against European sides, and at that level. I just think that when we see Alistair Robertson, it's the same. It's a role model for me, and you just hope that he can get down there. I know he never get thrown into that Liverpool team very early, but I think if this injury clears up, he'll be a starter.
Yeah, you mean Andy Robertson?
Sorry, Andy.
Alistair was his brother who never really made it. Never mind, I'll keep him right. There's a slip-up, I'm all over him. Listen, talking of slip-ups, I think Cluj last night, they got the early goal. They thought to themselves, can they build on it? They couldn't, because yet again, the star man for Celtic was James Forrest.
He was. He's a guy that's so dependable over the last few years in the big games. A big game player. I thought the game, the first 15, 20 minutes of that game was empty. It was like a basketball game, end to end. Both teams were set out to go and try and score. It made for a very entertaining game. But Forrest, a little bit of quality. A lot of Celtic fans, when they'll go 1-0 down, I think, oh, here we go, we need to try and stay in the game. But Forrest kind of settled the nerves, got the away goal. And you've got to fancy Celtic now at Parkhead, full house there to go and take care of Cluj.
Yeah, here's some of the feedback from the game. Of course, the manager, Neil Lennon, looking on that game. We're still unbeaten, which is brilliant, but we're a work in progress with a couple of new guys coming. The two new fullbacks still adjusting to life here. Cluj scored a great goal on the counter-attack. Our reaction to the goal was superb. It's a great result. We look really dangerous. Obviously, the away goal is priceless. James Forrest is a big game player. He's come up again with a really important goal. I hope we can reinvest. There's a few areas we would like to invest in. If Kieran does go, he goes with everyone's best wishes. A superb player who'll be a big loss to us. This was obviously Neil Lennon after the game. So I think Celtic fans will be heartened by the fact he wants players in, Ruffy. One of the things I think he'll be probably sitting down in a quiet moment with his inner sanctum of staff and saying, have we bought someone that could be a £3 million waste of money? Ball and goalie looked like a bomb scare.
He looked like a bomb scare last night, but everybody has a bomb scare in their career. He might just be adapting to the style of play with Celtic. £3 million. They must have done their homework on them to pay £3 million. So he must have something in him. And I think you just give the lad time to adapt to everything that involves but being at Celtic.
Yeah, some people can look back and actually pinpoint that bomb scare moment, Ruffy. For you, was it Peru, or was it Iran, or was it Brazil?
Nah, lots of bomb scares before that. I can assure you there was tons.
Damn, when he mentioned bomb scare there, did you have one game coming out in your mind?
Oh, 15 years of bomb scares. That's how I had 25 clubs. But, as you said, you've got to give the guy time. He's only in the door. And, a lot of Celtic fans, a little bit over the top. Give him 10 games and let's see how he looks after that.
Yeah, what about the Celtic captain, Scott Brown, after that 1-1 draw? Obviously, the confidence high. And of course, people were going to ask him about the loss of possibly the left back in Tierney, who's expected to be paraded, no doubt, on all the back pages of the papers with the red Arsenal shirt on. He'll be a big miss. We all wish him the best. He's been a fantastic player for us, and we can't ask him to do any more. I'm sure the gaffer has got his eye on a few players who might have to strengthen in that area. But we have Johnny, who can go in there and do a great job as well. He's talking, of course, about Johnny Hayes. We have a lot of strength in depth in the squad, and you can tell he was talking about that left-back area. We might have to strengthen, he said, in that area. That was Scott Brown chat for not naming anybody right away. As far as Dan Prochescu, he looked as if he was complaining about everything on that track side. I'm sure we deserved to win. We were unlucky not to win. I'm not happy with the result, but I'm happy with the performance. We played better than we expect. We missed two unbelievable chances. Celtic have the tradition, the fans, the players. Of course, they have the advantage, but you never know. And I think that sums up exactly what was on offer last night. So you can give us your view on YouTube on who you think Celtic should be signing and the possibility of some other players going even after the English transfer window closes. Give us your thoughts on that. Again, when you talk about players coming in and out, it wouldn't go away, Tam. That was Alfredo Morelos. If it wasn't this fake deal in China, which Rangers rubbished, if it wasn't this West Brom one, which Rangers rubbished, it's been everybody and your granny apparently willing to put money up for Morelos, but in the end, nothing.
Nothing so far. I mean, as you said, I don't think there's been any real concrete bids. I don't know how much Rangers will be looking for. I think anything like £6-8 million. You signed him for £1 million. I'm not saying he's a good player.
Yeah, I thought he was a £10 million player because of the erratic nature of the way English football's imbalanced the market.
Yeah, I think a English club who will pay £10 million for him. So Rangers are within their rights to kind of hold out. But I think his temperament, his discipline, that stopped him from going and being a Premiership player. I don't think anybody in English Premiership would sign him.
Yeah,
I think English Championship will probably be his level. The clubs down there have got £10 million to spend on a striker, and I think Rangers will hang out and try and get that 10 for him.
Yeah, well, I know they wanted Ryan Kent. In the end, Liverpool had said time and time again, no loan deals for any player, and they'd mentioned Kent in that. Brandon Barker, he could be a good addition for them.
Yeah, well, certainly when we saw him the last time, he certainly had everything, a bit of pace. You know, in the modern day, you need that in that position. You know, and he can score goals as well. So it's another addition to the Rangers if they get him. That is, you know, to add to the strength that they need in depth. I think Stephen Gerrard has said on numerous occasions that was one of the failings last year, that when he wanted to change certain positions, he didn't have the personnel.
Yeah, okay. What about the Europa League opponents, Midtjylland? Rangers haven't lost against a team like Midtjylland. The Scandinavian countries have been a really good, rich area for them, so they haven't lost against a Danish side in 6 attempts. You would fancy them over the 2 legs, surely?
Yeah, I would. I think Rangers last season in Europe in particular showed how good they were away from home. You know, I think they were unbeaten right through, right up to the group stages. They were excellent. You know, they can sit in, they've got plenty of pace on the counter-attack. You know, they'll use Defoe, Morelos, and I think they'll score tonight. I think maybe 1 each or 2-1 to Midtjylland. I think Rangers were big favourites to go back to Ibrox, very strong at home. I think as long as they can come out of there unscathed, get the away goal, then I don't see a problem for Rangers getting through.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's looking and thinking to themselves, okay, Midtjylland, hurdle, yes, achievable. The fear is if it's Legia Warsaw in the next round, Ruffy, so don't want to look too far ahead, but it's a tough double-header for them.
No, I think they should win this one. I think they can come away with 1 each. Would be a good result as well. I think if we think back to last year, big player for Rangers was Alan McGregor, and a lot of the games early on, some of the saves he was producing were fantastic and taking Rangers through round on round. I don't think he'll have that much to do this time, hopefully. And like Tam, I think Rangers will be too good at home.
Yeah, apologies to all the Traumatis fans who are watching the programme. I've written you off already against Legia Warsaw. Just look at Ruffy's face thinking, who are a Traumatis? Don't worry, Ruffy. I don't think you'll need to read up on them for the next round. Coming up, we're going to talk Aberdeen, Derek McInnes, Scott McKenna. We'll also hear from Gary Caldwell and the turmoil at Partick Thistle, all after the quiz. Yeah, it's a fairly easy one, this quiz this week. You've got a chance to win yourself a fabulous PLZ team T-shirt in the colours of your favourite team. And you never know your luck. You could be sporting it, wearing it out on the town over the weekend. That's just a matter of the trendy stuff we've got on this programme, Tam. What about Derek McInnes? Fuming, Ruffy, with what he thinks is the treatment of contempt, he's calling it, from certain clubs down south regarding Scott McKenna, Nottingham Forest in the firing line, Queen's Park Rangers as well. I don't know why Derek's doing this. I mean, every club plays their hand, you know, tries to get the best deal they possibly can. And it doesn't matter whether it's the first minute of the transfer window opening or the last minute of it shutting. Yeah,
it's just unfortunate. You know, Derek will have his own plans and thoughts of where he wants Aberdeen to go this year. And this kind of thing sort of doesn't disrail the whole team, but it certainly disrails, you know, his thoughts of what he wants. He obviously wants the player at the club, but I think this is another one that's his agent is sort of manoeuvring them to get him out the door. I think the boys had a couple of bids in already, and I'm only reading between the lines that Derek's obviously said, look, if a decent bid comes in for you, we'll let you go. And obviously they think, the agent and the player think whatever bids are in are decent enough to let him go, and Derek doesn't, you know, and then all of a sudden you've got the player who's got to get his head down and get on with it. But it'll be interesting to see if he's in the team. You know, tonight, that'll be a sort of a figure of where this is going to go.
My biggest problem with it is I can understand, and I'm all for Aberdeen holding out. It's like Morelos, it's all subjective. You look at players, you think, are they any good at a certain level? Are they worth 7 million? I think he's definitely a championship defender. I'm not even sure he's I discounted him as a Celtic potential signing. I think there's still a bit to go with the boy. I think he's been elevated too quickly to a level in some quarters. I don't know how you feel about it, Tam.
I kind of disagree. I like him, Peter. I think he's ready made for English Championship, as you said. I think he's big, he's strong, he's quick. He's left sided. I think they don't grow on trees. I think he'd go down to England, and I think if he went down to say a Forest or a QPR and done well, then how much would he go for the next move? I think that's what Aberdeen are looking at. How much would you're talking 15 million? The next move for him. So I think Aberdeen are well within their rights if they're comfortable enough to keep a hold of him just now. To try and hold out for your 6 and 7 millions, but if the player's desperate to go, he's obviously putting a transfer request agent in the background in his ear, thinking you're going to get this much at QPR or Nottingham Forest, you're going to get this amount in wages. I think that now's a sticky situation where Aberdeen may be looking to go, take what they can for him, because I think that you don't want an unhappy player, and I think player power is everything now, and I think he's looking to get out the door now.
I might have been too critical of him, Ruffy, because I'm going far back as Burnley in the game. I just thought they were able to turn him. I thought they were able to play a ball in behind him. I spoke to Celtic, who looked at him as a weak link in the semi-final, and they automatically, instead of this Brendan Rodgers playing along the back, they automatically went to put the ball over the top of his head and get him turning to face his own goal. And on countless occasions, I just thought at times he was suspect.
Yeah, no, I agree with you to a certain extent that I think he's been elevated very, very quickly. Elevated very quickly into a Scotland team because we don't have any centre-halves.
Yeah.
And he's been thrown in there, and he's had to learn his trade a wee bit there, and he's got fun out a couple of times in the big games. But he's a big, strong lad. Again, year on year, he'll get better and better. I just don't know what money they're talking about that they're going to let him go for.
Yeah, okay. As far as Aberdeen, the team's concerned, I certainly hope they can replicate what they achieved in 2015 against Rijeka in Croatia. 3-0 would be nice. I'm not too sure they're going to get it this time around.
No, I don't think they'll win 3-0. I think that was that was a freak result. I think they've improved since then. They're very good at home, especially in Europe. I think if Aberdeen can go over there, as I said, same as Rangers, go over there, score, keep it tight, one each, maybe even lose 2-1. Get them back to Pittodrie. I think they would turn them over there. But tough game, in the heat as well in Croatia at this time of the year. Just go over there, keep it tight. Aberdeen are good away from home. They're solid, and I think they can go over there and get a positive result.
Yeah, just a tremendous insight there. That's what happens when you live in East Kilbride. You go on your holidays to Croatia. You know exactly what the temperature is like over there as well. Well done, Tom. We weren't aware it was warm over there. We were just wondering if it was cheap beer. Anyway, here's the lowdown on the Croats. Okay, Ruffy, give us your prediction.
I'm not really worrying about the away game. It's the home game for Aberdeen for me. It's when the pressure's on and the stadium's full. Some of the players tend to go into a wee bit of shell. So I really do hope they get maybe a 1 or a 2 goal lead in this one.
I think one each. I think Aberdeen will go over there, keep it tight, reasonably tight, one each, and take them back and beat them at Pittodrie.
Okay, fingers crossed we get all three clubs involved in the latter stages of European competition. Good luck to Rangers and Aberdeen tonight. We dip into the Championship for a club in turmoil. We talk about it every night, seemingly. Partick Thistle. Well, Gary Caldwell was talking today to the assembled members of the press and giving us his insight into what's going on in the background. Financial worries, of course, no bus. Let's hear what the Partick Thistle manager had to say about it all.
The finances of this club are in very good condition from what I can see. I've been in all the board meetings. I've put a squad together from the beginning of May. I knew what we needed to be a successful team this season in the Championship. I have put that together. Do we still want some more players? Yes, I think every manager would say the same. But I fully believe in the people that I've brought to this club, the people that I had at this club. I believe those players can be successful this season. Quite clearly the bus was one of the costs. But for me, I think Kenny spoke about it yesterday, and the players none of them were affected by it. None of it affected the performance. I try to develop players who can be responsible and be accountable, and the fact they had to drive to a game shouldn't affect their performance, and I don't think it did. We actually decided as a squad to drive to the Betfred games in our cars because it allowed people to get home earlier rather than coming back to the stadium and different things. So that has not been a major factor in affecting the players in terms of preparation.
Okay, Ruffy, happy with what he's got so far. Wants more players in, and he's explained away the bus. Do you buy into it?
Yeah, I buy into what he's saying. I know for a fact that there is no financial trouble at Thistle. I was there. There was £700,000 coming into the club with the two players, plus the money that was there. I didn't understand the bus one because, there was no reason to do it because of the financial strength of the club. The budget he had to bring in players was the budget of that kind of player that he would attract. When you try in the Championship, there's a wage, cap in most clubs, so you have to, adapt yourself to that. But the clubs who are going out with that wage, budget are the teams that have been successful. You look at Ross County, who threw it at it. I think Dundee United are throwing it at it this year, and it remains to be seen whether they're going to be successful or not.
Okay, just a footnote to a couple of players that we want to wish the best to. First of all, James McCarthy joins up with James McArthur again at Crystal Palace. Good luck to James. He's been a guest on the programme, and over and above that, I just wonder if maybe the Celtic Chief Executive, Peter Lawwell, might be beating his head off a wall thinking what might have been, because Aston Villa's John McGinn signs a new 5-year deal. Do you get the feeling that that's a major one that Celtic missed out on?
I think that's a massive boo-boo from Celtic. I've been banging on about John McGinn, and people on social media all know that for 2 years, 2.5 years, even when Hibs were in the Championship. He was a standout. His work rate, Hibs fans loved him. But he can play as well. He's not just a bull in a china shop running about. He can put his foot in the ball. He can see a pass, and he can score a goal as well. So I think that's a major miss for Celtic. I think if he does well at Aston Villa this season, I think you'll be looking at a Man United or Spurs, somebody like that come in, and you're talking £30-40 million. So, and Hibs get, I think, 10-15% of that. So Rod Petrie will be rubbing his hands and hoping he does as well as we all think he will.
Yep. We leave you with this picture, which was Cluj versus Celtic. Jeremy Corbyn, would you believe, was asked by Celtic fans to take in the game, Ruffy, and he decided to watch Cluj against Celtic. I'm not sure it's going to do his votes any good if there was a snap general election. We don't at this moment know the whereabouts of Boris Johnson in case there's any Europa League games on, Ruffy, but I'm sure that would be equally as detrimental.
Yeah, Nicola Sturgeon get right behind the women's football, so yeah, it's a shock. I never expected that picture.
No, thankfully, I thought you were going to talk about politics there, and I thought we really are on shaky ground. On that note, let's get out of here. Thanks to Ruffy, thanks to Tam McManus, thanks for watching us on the programme. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Expect the best used car deals guaranteed. Visit arnoldclark.com.